knowing who I was and what I become. This is how the story goes. When you fly too close to the sun, you will see, you will get shot down, crucified by your greed. Now all I own is me, no fancy cars, no company. I burned my bridges long ago. I lost the woman I love the most. The pound signs blinded my eyes. Girl, do you remember me? This is how the story goes. When you fly too close to the sun, you will see, you will get shot down, crucified by your greed.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Saturday. I hope you guys had a good week and that your weekend has started well as well. So here in the UK, things are still a lot warmer than they usually are or should be at this time of the year, even though I know that it's kind of summertime, but we don't usually have hot summers. But it has been a hot one for the last probably, I don't know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, something like that. So we have got the air conditioning turned up to 11 and everything's just about all right in this room at the moment. And I can see that we have a lot of people in the live chat room already. So hello to you guys in there. Let's do a quick shout out. We've got Ruth, Rowan, Kevin, Tim, Bob, Joe, Tammy, Jennifer, Leslie, Debbie, Billy again, Gail, Cindy, Bob, Howard, Teresa, Joe, Billy, Gail, Cindy in there, Laurelie, Bernadine. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me in the live chat room for tonight's live stream. Now, I have a new thing on the screen that says top fans, and it has the picture of the crown that we were referencing in the last live stream, maybe the last couple of live streams. I haven't really known what that means, but now there's something that I can click on for more information. So I might do that in tonight's live stream. I'll do that actually once we get through the admin of getting the names of my patrons up on screen, because they make this all possible in the first place, and they are the foundation of everything that I do, as I always say. So a huge thank you to you guys. You know who you are. And we will get the likes goal up on screen. Tonight we are looking at a target of 425. So that's quite a lot of thumbs up. We'll see where we end up by the end of the live stream. But if we do hit the target of 425, it means that we will then have a fill jam. We'll bust out the guitar and see what happens. It's going to be fill jam number 251. And let's get the likeometer up on screen before I forget. And here we go. It means we're looking for 224 more people to hit the thumbs up. If it's ever close to 200 or on 200, certainly helps with my maths of working everything out. So thank you, all of you who have hit that thumbs up so far. We'll keep on going. Hopefully we'll have a spike of the likes and get close to that target of 425. So I can see that there have been donations already in the Super Chat window, and there have been a few in the PayPal window as well. So I will put the donations tab up on screen because you don't have to donate. Just watching is great. And for those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which, like I've said, is in the description below. You don't have to donate though at all, and that goes for everything. And by the way, over the last couple of live streams, I've mentioned that to make requests for analysis videos, future analysis videos, of course, then email requests at wingsofpegasus.com, because I had a few messages, people saying, oh, I've sent the request through, but it came back as undelivered, and they put request without the S on the end. So just make sure that you're typing it incorrectly. Requests at wingsofpegasus.com, the official route to get your requests in, because it's going to be a lot more unreliable now because of the numbers of requests coming in and just the numbers of people watching and the general size of the community now, which is great as we approach 500,000 subscribers. But there are a lot of requests coming through, and a lot of noise on lots of different social media sites. So just getting it all centered to requests at wingsofpegasus.com means that that's going to be a lot more reliable to get your request through that avenue. But anyway, I tell you what, I will click on this top fans thing, because I then get a list and it says top fans, and it has at number 1, the type's too big to see, but number 1 is Karen, and then Asavanto, I think that says, and then Paul is at number 3, and then Ninja Kitty's at number 4. So let me see what it goes up to. Okay, it seems to go up to 13 for the amount of top fans. So when I click on the question mark, and this is referencing the little crown that we're starting to see over the last couple of live streams, it says top fans and XP. What's the leaderboard? Question mark. A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages, send super chats and super stickers. So yeah, there you go. Got it. But I mean, I always knew that this would be YouTube because they're always trying to push, having a donations goal, but they call it something else, but like maybe a super chat goal to try and get a particular amount of donations from the people watching. Obviously, I'm not YouTube's favorite channel because I actively tell people not to donate, that they don't have to donate. And this top fans thing is just a way, I think, to get people to donate more money. But as I've said, between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube. So it's in their interest to try and get people to donate, especially on YouTube in the super chat window. So I guess that's why those little crowns have come in order to try and push that a little bit. But as I've said, don't have to donate, but if you really can't resist donating, then PayPal take between 3 and 5%, not between 45 and 60%. So yeah, they're taking 10 times less than YouTube from each donation. So obviously I get potentially 10 times more of your donation will come to me rather than to YouTube, and that's through the PayPal link in the description below. But you don't have to donate, but it's up to you, and you can donate wherever you want to. It's your choice. But anyway, we will jump into the super chat window because I can see Paul was in there and donated $5, so thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, everyone have fun tonight. Please spike the likes. All y'all. Peace, rock. Oh, peace, love, and rock. So thank you for that, Paul. And Karen donated $20 as well. So thank you for that, Karen. The message is, greetings, Phil. Did you hear that Connie Francis died this week? I don't know if you ever did an analysis on her, but she had a long career. My late parents loved her and dad teased mom about having a crush on her. So thank you for that. And yes, I did hear the sad news, and I think Connie Francis was probably one of my earlier video, if not earliest videos, when I started, looking at singers and making points about their voice, what they're doing, and vocal technique, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was quite a while ago now, but yeah, she will be on the channel from a few years ago. But thank you for that, Karen. And Timothy has donated $9.99, so thank you for that, and that is a straight up donation. So I will now jump over to the PayPal window to see what's going on in there. And we have had a little bit of action. It is a donation from Philip, who has donated £5. So thank you for that. And that was on Wednesday morning. So that's just after the previous live stream on Tuesday. And another one came through from Bruce, who donated £4 as well. And Philip's donation was a straight up donation, as was Bruce's. So thank you for that. And Amy has donated £25. Thank you for that, Amy. And that is a straight up donation again. And Bryony has donated £5. So thank you for that. The message is, really appreciate everything you do. Take care. So thank you for that. And Cindy's donated £25. And thank you, Cindy. The message is, hi Phil, there's been a lot of talk on YouTube this week about other music channels like Professor of Rock struggling with copyright issues, even just using 5 seconds of audio. How has it been for you lately? Any advice for other creators? So thank you for that. So, I mean, copyright on YouTube has always been a complicated issue, and I did see a video recently, and I think it's just a quick video from Justin Hawkins from The Darkness, and he was talking about, and he's actually pointing everyone's attention in the direction of Professor of Rock, the channel, where, I mean, I've seen that channel where it's kind of more like a documentary on YouTube rather than just what I would consider a standard YouTube video. You've got history of bands, and this is the issue, is when somebody takes, say for example, I know that Professor of Rock said that in his video he's addressing his top 10 countdowns that he's done his last one of because of the copyright claims or potentially things getting blocked and having to remove audio, all that kind of stuff. So the problem is that when you're playing anybody else's copyright material on YouTube, you will get a copyright claim. That is pretty much guaranteed, especially if you are a larger channel. If you've got hundreds of thousands of subscribers or millions of subscribers, then you're going to be getting copyright claims. And I think generally you're going to be getting those claims more quickly and more regularly than smaller channels who might fly under the radar. And I have seen smaller channels featuring music and not even doing it in a fair use way. They've just been literally listening to somebody's song from beginning to end and maybe listening to a whole album, but it's been taken down after a very long time. It then eventually gets found. But with the larger channels, I think they're more kind of under the microscope. But in this particular case, it means that if you're just referencing any song, you're going to get a copyright claim. If you're referencing 10 songs, you're going to get 10 copyright claims. Now, there is a process to go through. And on my channel, it was crazy because I got a copyright claim for, I can't remember what it was, but it claimed that me playing my guitar demonstrating techniques was somebody else's song. So YouTube, and I made a video about it because it was so stupid, that YouTube was telling me to cut myself, and I wasn't playing anything that was somebody else's song. I was just demonstrating like pentatonic shape 1. I was maybe playing a few lead lines, but YouTube was telling me to cut myself out of my own video and my own playing. So it was absolutely crazy. Obviously something totally wrong with the algorithm. So I did a video about how stupid it was, and from that video I then had contact from a couple of lawyers, which is great to be able to chat to lawyers. But Scott, who long-time viewers on the channel will know, he just said to me, if you get a copyright claim on your video, challenge every single one, like dispute it. That's the official term for it on YouTube. You dispute the copyright claim. And since getting that advice from a lawyer, that's exactly what I do now. It's just part of the course for my videos, because I guess I've had that advice from a lawyer who knows my channel, who watches my videos, and has said that if this went to a court of law, you would win. There's no argument for your use of these songs for not being fair use. So, and with my analysis videos, I'm plotting voices on a pitch graph. So first of all, just doing that, it means that I might be in a kind of different area here, because I'm transforming the audio immediately, because I have created something from the audio that didn't exist in the first place. Just listening to something, you're still listening to it. You haven't created anything from that's a physical graph that can depict the voice in a visual form so that people can understand it on a deeper level. So from that standpoint, because I've already transformed the audio and the voices, everything that we're listening to, that's transformative, and your videos have to be transformative. But anyway, going back to the Professor of Rock, his videos are fair use and transformative. And the process that you'd have to go through is to dispute every copyright claim. And you have to write out why. And it can take a bit of time, but this is what I consider admin. And I've got like two admin days in the week where I do all this kind of stuff and answer messages, emails, try and get everything up to date. But it might take a long time, but there are steps that you can go through to do it. Now, and I know that Justin in his live stream, he said that it was inconvenient and it takes a very long time. And to my mind, it's still, for me, I think, well, but there is a system in place. Like, I dispute all of them because I spend the time doing it. And I don't know, for me, I think, especially for creators who are relying on YouTube, if they don't have Patreon, like if they don't have a foundation and YouTube is their thing, then I think you've got to somehow work it into your schedule that you make your video, you upload it, and then you deal with the copyright claims, because you're going to get them. So then you fill out the dispute form for each of the copyright claims. And if you're doing a top 10 countdown, then it's going to be 10 copyright claims that you have to do. But you could copy and paste the same reasoning for each one of those, because they're all in an informative video that is transforming the audio for everyone can see that there is transformation going on there. So it is fair use. So you are valid in your use of that. So on one side you've got the argument that yes, so many songs obviously are going to get copyright claimed even if you use only 5 seconds of them. But then on the other side you think, well, you can fill out all of the dispute forms and see what happens, because in my experience personally, again, it's going to be difficult because I know that what I'm doing is absolutely fair use, but I've seen other videos like reaction channels, for example, where, even on not reaction channels, but other analysis channels that are huge, where I've heard lawyers say, well, that wouldn't, that hour-long video that they did citing loads of different bits of a particular song, it wouldn't fall under fair use because they didn't transform what they were listening to. They just listened to it and then didn't say anything about it, or change the way that it was displayed, anything like that. So it is difficult. So I think in my particular position, I'm I'm very confident that when I put through a dispute, because all of my analysis videos are exactly the same in terms of featuring objective data, I mean, you can't transform anything more than that to show it as objective data on a pitch graph, because that's not just me listening to the song and saying it's great. I'm actually explaining things about, the vocalist and pitch correction, auto tune, pre-recorded backing tracks, and even with live performances, what the guitarist is playing, whether he's playing it or not, or she's playing it or not, chord progressions, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it might be the case that some channels are, I guess, scared maybe to make that copyright dispute because they're not sure what happens to their channel. Because say, for example, and I understand why the Professor of Rock and the channel might feel nervous of copyright disputing the copyright claims on a video that has 10 of them, because if the dispute gets rejected, then you just have to kind of accept that and accept that the copyright owners are going to take the ad revenue for your video. But if you take it another step further and elevate it on YouTube, it means that you can get a copyright strike. And as I've said on my channel before, if you get 3 strikes, that's the end of your channel. So imagine that you've got a video with 10 songs in it, and 3 of those could come back as copyright claimed, and you just got to accept it. But if you really wanted to dispute all 10 of those, then you could get 3 copyright strikes, and then your channel is over. And then even if you say, well, no, what I'm doing is fair use, YouTube would have to go through the whole process of trying to determine whether it's fair use or not. And yeah, again, that's something that it's a huge risk for your channel to suddenly stop if you are relying on income from YouTube, because it means that it might take 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, who knows how long it will take YouTube to sort it out. So that means for 6 weeks you haven't earned anything, and your rent or your mortgage, whatever you might have, the bank aren't going to say, oh well, let's wait to see what YouTube are going to do about your YouTube channel, which is where your income comes from. So yeah, I understand it from that point of view, but I'm very lucky in that, I mean, I do everything myself, so I know exactly where my channel is at from a copyright standpoint. I know the videos that I make, and I know exactly which songs and copyright material I am disputing, and I know that generally I'm only going to be disputing one thing on one video. So if it comes back, and it does sometimes come back as my claim has been rejected, which is ridiculous, and I could elevate it, but I just think, right, well, fair enough, I haven't got the time to be doing it. So yeah, I just kind of move on. But I'd say that probably 95% of the time, and actually with the Bryan Adams video that I did, YouTube determined that what I was doing was fair use. And like I said, all of my videos are the same in terms of what I'm doing. So yeah, for YouTube to independently determine that what I'm doing is fair use, therefore the official Bryan Adams channel were rejected with their they wanted to take down one of my videos, but yeah, YouTube said no. So which is great, but I've kind of got that as knowledge, like in the back of my mind, that I know that if I do my videos in exactly the same way as I did on the Bryan Adams video, which is the same as every other video, then if it is independently I don't know, adjudicated, or if it's just looked at by an independent body, they're more than likely going to find that it's fair use, especially when you've got that from various lawyers as well. So, but I do understand that if you're featuring multiple songs, it must be an absolute nightmare. But even if you're just doing a few songs, and I've had that in the past, where there might be 2 or 3 songs that I'm comparing, and one might be a live version, one might be the original record, and another one might be crowd shot footage. So I might get 2 claims for the more official releases, and I still dispute those 2 claims because it's clear what I'm doing. That I'm not just listening to your song, I'm pointing out that the production crew have added this, this and this, whatever it might be, after the show, and people aren't aware that this is going on. And every video is requested as well, so it's answering those requests and telling people exactly what's going on, and therefore by telling people something that they didn't know about the performance, that is the definition of transforming something, transforming the understanding of that video. Because the amount of people that watch one of my videos and say, oh, I can't believe that this is, you know, auto-tuned or pitch corrected, or I can't believe that they're not actually singing, that they're lip syncing or miming. So that is absolute transformation. So people won't see that performance in the same light again because of what's been pointed out about it. So yeah, and that's pretty much what fair use is all about. Some people that just watch or listen to the song and say that, oh, that they love it, it hasn't transformed the viewer's understanding of that song. They're still going to see it in the same way that they did before. All they know now is that that person likes it, but that's not transforming the original material. That's just looking at somebody now knowing that they like a song. So yeah, I've said before on YouTube, there are a lot of channels that I think if they were challenged, like in a court of law over fair use, that they wouldn't win their cases. But yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. Anyway, thank you for that. And I know that's a very long answer, but it is a complicated issue at the moment on YouTube, and I have seen lots of channels addressing it, but it's, yeah, I don't know what the solution is for it, because there is a process that you can go, there are steps to go through if you are having problems with it. So yeah, I think the problem is when there's multiple claims, and then it's really risky to try and do that in case you get all the strikes in one go, and then your channel is no more. So yeah, we'll have to watch this space, but I think I'm fortunate that I'm in a different kind of camp with the videos that I do. But anyway, thank you for that, Cindy. And moving on, Nicole's donated £12, so thank you for that. And the message is, hello Phil, you talk about your Norwegian origins. Is there a specific Norwegian rock, or not really? Kiss and cheers, I think that's going to say. So thank you for that. And I mean, yeah, not really. The only, I'd say, because of my upbringing and spending my, whole life in the UK, the only Norwegian band that I know well is Aha. So yeah, I'm not really aware of a lot of Norwegian bands, and I'd say that, yeah, I'm very much just following, well, when I was a kid, following the mainstream, but especially the older bands that my dad had, the records, the vinyls of, Jimi Hendrix and Boston, and all the bands that I've named before, Gary Moore as well. So yeah, that's who I listened to, and it wasn't particularly anything specifically Norwegian. So there you go. Thank you for that, Nicole. And Lynn has donated £75, so thank you for that, Lynn. And the message is, Phil, Judge Judy often talks about the doctrine of clean hands. I think you applied the clean hands doctrine in your second analysis video of the AI band, The Velvet Sundown. Thank you for not analysing the music, as it was fraudulent as well. Your second video made that clear. So thank you for that. And yeah, this is still a bit of a weird one, because underneath that video, of course my videos are online, and they stay online so people can watch them and comment on them at any time. And I have still had a few comments that are saying, oh, you should have analysed the audio. Because, this other channel did, and, you didn't do that, so why didn't you do that? And I've said that, I've explained it in a video that, first of all, the pictures look so dodgy that I wasn't going to analyse that anyway, because it is clearly AI. So somebody making the request is saying, oh, some people are saying that this band who use AI images, some people are saying they're AI. My response would be, well, of course, because they're using AI images. But even if they say, yeah, but listen to their songs, are they AI or not? And you think, well, I don't have to, because what they've done in the first place is illegal. You can't misrepresent yourself or anyone as something different, as to what it is, because that's about protecting the consumer from thinking something is one thing when it's actually the other, or not what they're thinking it is, and then making money from it. And of course, with music, you can make money from it. So it's illegal. So there's no need to look into it any further than that, because if it, again, we're talking about lots of kind of legal things tonight, but if somebody did that, which they have done, and they didn't state that it was AI when they were uploading their songs and using the imagery and all these different things, they have breached, probably every site. On every site you have to declare what you are uploading, so they have breached that on any site they've uploaded their music to, because it's not real, and the imagery that they're uploading is not real. So it means that, I think on their website they named the people that were in the band, and that's the illegal part of it. You can't name people who aren't actually the people, so you can't give AI people names and backgrounds, because those AI people don't exist. So it's just on that technicality really of being illegal. They think, well, there's no reason for me to listen to the music when it's starting off in an illegal manner, because you think, well, even if the songs were produced by a real band, they're doing something that's illegal. So whatever happens with that is going to be taken down. It's going to be removed if they've made any money, potentially. Spotify would be within their rights to then sue whoever created this band. And I did say in my video that somebody said that they set it up and admitted it, and then they took that back and said, no, actually I didn't make up the band or create it. But I've already said that I think the reason for that was that they then realized that, oh, hang on, I didn't realize the legal implications of what I was doing. And this is what happens to a lot of people, that they go ahead and do something and don't realize that what they're doing is illegal, so they have to backtrack very quickly. And you should do your research before you start doing that kind of thing, like going against the terms of service of websites and ignoring that you have to say exactly what you're uploading. So that declaration is there for a reason. But anyway, thank you for that, Lynn. And Cynthia has donated £7.76, so thank you for that. And the message is a fabricious. I was reading that as part of the message, but Cynthia says, hi Phil. I was going to say a fabulous, but then I realised that wasn't what it said. Hi Phil, did you happen to see your buddy Seal in the Royal Box for the Gentleman's Final on Sunday? Yes, indeed I did. So yes, Seal, a friend of the channel, was at the tennis, and he's a big supporter of Yannick Sinner, who actually won, which was amazing. And it must have been great to have been there. But Seal was also at the US Open, I believe, earlier this year as well. So Seal's a huge tennis fan, and when I've spoken to him, he at the weekend, or I think they're both on a Sunday, so he was in his tennis stuff. So he's a huge tennis fan and plays a lot of tennis. So I did see him there. Thank you for that, Cynthia. And it's great that Sinner won it as well, because Alcaraz is like an amazing player as well, and I think he just gets everything back. So the fact that Sinner managed to beat him is amazing. And what I think has changed over the last maybe 20 years in tennis is that you used to have guys that were really tall, who were 6'4", 6'5", but they didn't have the mobility. So their weapons were the serve, or serve and volley. And now you've got guys that are really tall, and they've got that movement around the court as well. And once you pair those things together, obviously it's like an unbeatable combination. If you've got somebody who's tall, has a larger wingspan, has a huge serve, can volley at the net, and he's really difficult to pass, even to lob, because they're so tall, and they move around the court quickly, you think, well, now you're talking about kind of having the best of all worlds. So even the guys that you think are shorter, always kind of 6 foot or 6'1". So the mobility around the court, I think, has definitely changed with obviously the training, the improvements in coaching and facilities as well, but just about, you know, anatomy and physiology, studying what can be achieved with the human body and being able to train in different ways, and flexibility, all these different things. Watching your diet, and not just watching your diet, having a specific diet for your sport and for the exercise that you do. It's all really ramped up over the last 20 years, I'd say. And now, yeah, you're getting guys like Sinner who are fast around the court, but just, you know, huge in, you know, this is the other thing, that they might look slight, but I'm sure that if you're watching them in real life, they're not. You know, they are well built guys. So yeah, huge congratulations to Sinner, and yeah, great to see Seal there as well. But thank you for that, Cynthia. And Dawn has donated £3.56, and that is a straight up donation. Amy has donated £10, so thank you for that. And the message is, Shark Week starts tomorrow on the Discovery Channel in the US. Sharks can detect 1 drop of blood in 25 gallons of water, 95 litres. Happy Shark Week. So thank you for that. And yeah, I probably, well, I don't know if we get that. I don't know if the Discovery Channel is the same in the UK as it is in the US, because in the US, I know that you get Skinwalker Ranch, like you maybe already had it, or maybe it's on now, and it takes ages to get to the UK. So I think our UK version, it might not be Shark Week next week. Who knows? But as I've said before, that the most startling statistic that I have for you is that there have been 0 shark attacks on land. So that's why I stay on land and just leave the sharks to what they're doing in the sea, and let them get on with it. So anyway, thank you for that, Amy. That wouldn't make a very interesting documentary if I said that that I've done a study and I've found that there have been 0 shark attacks on land. It'd be a very short documentary. But anyway, yeah. Oh, there have been a few more donations in the super chat window. Thank you guys for these. And Karen's donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, I loved your analysis on Emma Robinson last night. While you analysed, your smile lit up the entire room. Thanks for all you do. Cheers, Karen. So thank you for that. And you might have noticed I tried to pin Emma's comment, and I don't know whether it worked or not. I don't generally pin anything at the top of the videos, but Emma did see the video, and yeah, she was very complimentary about it and said that now whenever anyone accuses her of using auto-tune, she has a video that she can just send people to, which is great. And while I know that there might have been other channels that have done videos on the same thing, because the video is really old, so maybe I'm late to the party, but I just kind of do what's ever requested, and just happens to be requested. And with that particular performance, I think the important thing is that when you're looking at objective data, like if somebody says, oh, I think you're using auto-tune, and the person can say, well, here's a video that proves I'm not. There's analysing the voice in extreme detail, and we're looking at the voice, what, 11, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. So back then, auto-tune wasn't as advanced as it is now. So back then, having what's called the humanizer effect of it being ever so slightly sharp, ever so slightly flat, which now happens during auto-tune, they still haven't managed to eradicate the accidental flips that happen really quickly, that happen more quickly than Emma was doing in her performance. So yeah, auto-tune I think is still something that's really risky to use live, but yeah, in that particular analysis video, it's good to be able to point out that back in those days, 13 years ago, auto-tune was snapping to lines. That's what it was doing. So also when she's playing piano, there's no real timing to it that is strict. So getting all of those presses on those keys at exactly the same hundredths of the second, if she was using auto-tune or if she was post-pitch correcting her voice, you'd have to separate that piano from the vocal, and that would be, back then, before isolating software was so easy to use and available for everybody, But back then you wouldn't have been able to do it. So there's so many things that point towards it being an absolutely genuine performance, and just the overall sound of the vocal and the piano, and you can hear that it's all in the same space. It's all being played live. Yeah, and it's not being sung into a microphone like this. It's just a phone picking it up. So when we look at obviously the pitch data proves that her voice isn't getting snapped to A440, which is what auto-tune does. It uses A440 as its guide as to where the lines should be, so it sticks the voice to them. So anyway, yeah, it is great to get that comment from Emma. Thank you for that. Karen Crizzy's donated $7.99. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, finally awake this time, hope all is well. RFC, so thank you for that. Jennifer has donated $7 as well, so thank you for that. The message is, Phil, do you have to keep the room a certain temp because of your guitars? What are your old band mate doing? Thanks. So generally, I mean, I'm not really strict with keeping this room. You know, there are some people that are obsessive about keeping, you know, the humidity at a particular level in their room if they've got loads of guitars in there. Yeah, which I fully understand. If they've got guitars that, you know, are worth a hell of a lot of money and there are a lot of them, then yeah, you want to keep them in the best condition that you can. And when you're talking about guitars that might be very old as well, obviously you want to keep them in the most consistent environment possible. But with my guitars, I think because I live in the UK, generally we don't get really sharp changes in temperature. Like, for example, if it's really hot during the day, it's also going to be pretty hot at night. It doesn't really cool down very much. And if it's really cold during the day, it's going to be really cold at night as well. So there's always this gradual change, not a sudden spike that you might have, for example, if you're living somewhere where during the day it can be really hot and then at night it really cools down. So you get a really dramatic change. Yeah, that's something that, yeah, I'm sure that the guitars won't particularly like too much, as well as, yeah, the humidity, you know. But again, here in the UK, we don't really have high humidity and it's all pretty much okay. But I still think this room remains relatively consistent, because with my fill jams, for example, whenever I get the guitar down, it's generally in tune. It might need a tiny tweak on one of the strings, but if you're in an environment where the wood is, you know, contracting and expanding due to the change in temperatures, then that's going to affect the tension on your strings. So then you'll find that your guitars are constantly going out of tune because of the change in temperatures. And it might be something that people don't understand why their guitar is out of tune all the time, but maybe it's because of the change in temperature from the day to then nighttime and just the room that they're keeping it in, the environment, whereas everything is pretty consistent in here. But I think living in the UK as well kind of helps with that we don't have dramatic or overly dramatic temperature changes. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. Rich Cat Ranch has donated $2, so thank you for that. And the message is, hello from South Lake, Texas, USA. So hello to you as well. And Jeff has donated $5. Thank you for that, Jeff. The message is, hello from New York City. Did you have a favorite performance from the Back to the Beginning concert? Cheers. So now I'm doing a video on this, so I'm not going to spoil it, but thank you, Jeff, for this question. And I mean, there were so many great performances, great bands, great artists. I have to say that a personal favourite of mine, but only for the reason that I did a video on, you know, Steven Tyler and his voice and having vocal surgery and things not going as he wanted them to, or kind of as they planned, meaning that, you know, he called it a day for singing and performing with Aerosmith. So to see him on stage, and what I would say is sounding great. And I know that he has a particular level where if he can't do everything in exactly the same way that he's always done, and he can't hit the same kind of screams and those things about his voice that was so unique. If he can't do all those things, then he's not going to, I guess, make any concessions with that. He's just going to say, look, I can't do what I want to do, so I'm going to, call it a day. But I have to say that his vocal performance on, Walk This Way, like, if you haven't seen that performance, then check it out, because that, for me, is still an entirely authentic vocal from Stephen. And I think he's such a great singer that you don't really even... this is all subjective now, but I don't think you need all of the other parts of his voice, because he's seemingly still got... I mean, I couldn't watch it for a very long time, but seemingly that was one part that I thought that was great to see him back on stage and singing, especially after saying that he's going to be calling it a day. And it's great to hear his voice again, especially with it sounding how it sounded. But anyway, that's what I choose. But like I said, I'm doing a video on it tomorrow night, so you're gonna have to look out for that. And again, the video that I'm doing tomorrow night, that is referencing a specific question that I've been asked about the show and about the end part, obviously Ozzy and Black Sabbath, and it's about that kind of area and what was happening on the stream version of it. And I kind of call it a live stream, but I know that it was delayed by 2 hours. Like the stream was out there live, and it's a pay-per-view stream that was aired 2 hours later than it actually happened in the stadium. So I'm explaining what's gone on in that 2 hours. And I mean, it's a very, again, specific request, but I'm going to kind of give the answers as to why people are confused about what was going on. And generally, I think, and I don't say this in my video, but I think generally, when you put in a delay from something happening live and then it being shown on a stream or even on TV, a live TV event, but with that delay, is to counteract any technical issues that might happen on the night. And technical issues for me are things where maybe you get a power cut, or the mic's not working, and you get some kind of failure equipment wise. So in the 2 hour delay that happened, things happened that I don't really associate with why you have a delay. But anyway, you have to watch that video tomorrow night, because I do address everything in there. But thank you for that, Jeff. So anyway, let me now jump into the PayPal window again, because Karen's popped in there with a donation of £1.42, so thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, what's your opinion of guitarists doing kabongs, smashing guitars in their performances? Karen, so thank you for that. And generally, it's not something that I would do, but it's because I do like guitars, and I do like all of the guitars that I play. So I think first of all, I know that certain bands that destroyed their equipment, and the Who did this, where they kind of go crazy at the end of the set and destroy everything, and Jimi Hendrix did as well. But I think if you're destroying guitars, and this is actually something that the Who said, that when they started, they were playing at a loss for every show that they performed, because of the amount of gear that they were destroying. So it means that, I think if you are destroying your instruments, that is a luxury to be able to do that and not have to worry about the financial side of it. Because in real life, when you destroy your guitar, the record label then doesn't put up the money for you to buy another one. It means you now don't have a guitar. So it wouldn't work in what I'd say is the independent walk of life. For the independent musician, your guitar is the most treasured possession that you've got, and you only start destroying guitars if they are given to you, and maybe you don't like them, or they're not really that important to you. But if you don't have that backing and it's you doing everything yourself, then I guarantee you that there are no independent artists going out there destroying their equipment, because they need that for their next show. So yeah, I think that's one side of it, but I've never been into destroying things. Even if people give me guitars, I'm not going to destroy them. So anyway, right, we are now up to date with everything, and it is almost 5 to midnight, so we're going to be jumping into the cover video for tonight, and it looks like we might have a winner. Finally, is Parisienne Walkways. I'm just going to end this so we can see if it is. Yes, Parisienne Walkways, really close vote for tonight, and it was 50% against 49, so it went to decimal places. We will be jumping into my version of the Gary Moore classic, and I'm going to have to check how long the fill jam is later on, because we are within touching distance. We need 21 more people to hit the thumbs up to bust out the guitar, have a jam. We'll see how we get on with that, but I'll see you guys after this. I hope you enjoy it. Rock! And there we have it. That was my version of Parisienne Walkways. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And thank you for requesting both that, the one that finally won, and Don't Slow Down as the cover videos for tonight. So yeah, that Parisienne Walkways has been waiting a while to get voted through as the one that we listen to. So we have indeed hit the likes goal for tonight. So thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and getting us to 425 likes. If you're watching this in the future, then you can still hit the thumbs up. It really does help the live stream to get out there a little bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole. So I think we are in good shape for the Phil Jam because it's going to be 7 minutes, but it is just midnight. It just has turned midnight, so it means that we will have enough time for that. And I think we're up to date with everything as well. Maybe, do we have, I think maybe we'll do the Phil Jam and see if we have any time at the end for something else we might do, or do we do the thing before? Maybe we should do, like, for example, a Phil tune before we get into the jam. So probably, I think the riff of the week thing is going to take too long for me to organise and get the screen capture going and all that kind of stuff, because I haven't set that up. I never have it set up, but I don't even have my channel in front of me to choose from. So maybe we will have a look at, but then again, everyone's saying riff. Now the problem with the riff of the week is that there are maybe 12 riffs left out of 100. So it means that people can be guessing numbers for probably 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to run out of time. So we will probably jump into a Phil tune, and maybe one that's not too long. I can't remember which one isn't too long. Maybe the bassist one. We're going to have a listen to the bassist real life story. This is a real life story from my musical past, and yeah, we'll jump into this and then have the Phil Jam afterwards. So I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
Okay, well, thanks for coming down to the audition today. Do you mind if we slag you off behind your back while we discuss your audition?
That's okay, I'll randomly walk in this direction.
What the actual heck was that? Okay, let's start with the negative points.
Well, his image is laughable and totally unsuitable. He can't keep time. His bass looks like he found it in a skip. And he was late.
Unbelievably, even though he was absolute total guff. He is the best we've seen, and we've been auditioning for a year. So what the ruddy frig shall we do?
As much as it pains me to say it, I think we'll have to give him the gig, bite the bullet and get on with it.
This is total guff shine.
Hello again. Before you tell me your decision, I thought I would say, I want this more than anything in the world. I'll do whatever it takes.
Well, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you've got the gig. You are now our new bassist.
Holy heck guys, thanks a lot. This means the world to me, you will not regret it.
Well, straight to business. We have a rehearsal on Wednesday night 7 until 10 before the gig on Saturday.
Can't do Wednesday?
Why not?
Me and the missus usually go to the corner shop that evening.
Okay, no problem. We'll just move the rehearsal to Thursday.
Can't do Thursday.
Is there any day at any time before Saturday that you can do?
No.
Hang on, is the gig this Saturday?
Yes, it is this Saturday, as I have been telling you for the last 3 weeks.
I can't do it. I'm working this Saturday, and I definitely can't get out of it, for sure.
Are you actually having a joke with me? As you have just realized it is this Saturday, I know for a fact you have not called in to see if someone will cover your shift.
I didn't think of it like that, but now you say it, it makes sense.
Well, considering it is a great venue and fantastic opportunity for us as a band. Do you want to call your work just in case?
Well, I suppose I could actually thinking about it.
Well, Ruddy Guffing, do it then, you freaking bum guff.
Hello, it's me. I doubt anyone will, and don't worry if you can't. But will you or anyone else cover my shift on Saturday?
So, what did they say?
They said they didn't want to cover my shift. It sounded like they were slagging me off and laughing in the background. So it's a dead end.
Well, at least you got across the importance of getting Saturday night off.
Now the problem is, I can't fake illness because they know I want Saturday night off. Ruddy, hell.
I seriously cannot believe your incompetence. Okay, give me your phone. Hello, I'm calling on behalf of my guffing idiot of a friend. Yes, that's him. He has an important night on Saturday. Can he swap his shift? That's great, thanks for doing that. I'm actually amazed at how easy that was to organize, many thanks. There you are. You now have Saturday off, so you can now do the gig. How you could not organize that is beyond me. Unbelievable.
Just thinking about it, actually, I can't do Saturday.
What? There. Actual. Frig. Please excuse me. I just have to go outside quickly and shout something.
And there we have it. That was one of my real life stories, or the Phil tunes as they're now known. We are going to be jumping into the Phil Jam. So, number 251, microphone on. And I think we are zoomed in at the moment. The yellow dude will tell us. Yes, we were. Down to ×1. And let's click on this. And okay, right. An advert for Ken Tamplin's Vocal Academy, which I've seen loads of adverts for recently. But yeah, we'll move on. Just let that play through. And we'll get into the backing track soon. This is cool, deep, melodic rock backing track in D minor, and this is from YT Jam Tracks. So let's unmute that and play. So let me know if you can hear this. Oh, skip the advert and like that. Right. This. Let me know if you can hear this. What the levels are like. I can hear it, which is good. I can also hear my voice echoing, which is weird. Levels are good. Seems like it's sounding alright with the levels. and volume off, end video with 2 seconds to spare. So there we have it. That was the Phil Jam for tonight, and that was cool, deep, melodic rock backing track in D minor from YT Jam Tracks, and YT in capital letters to depict YouTube. So thank you, Joe, for sending that my way. And that was the Phil Jam number 251 for tonight. And thank you guys for giving the thumbs up to allow me to bust out the guitar and have a jam. So right, I think we had another donation as we were jamming, and it was Diane who donated £5.80. So thank you for that, Diane. And the message is, hi Phil, for having this on my 75th birthday. I learned guitar from the original Alice Cooper. So thank you for that. And I mean, that was well, I don't know whether you mean Alice Cooper actually taught you guitar, or whether that you learnt from Alice Cooper maybe listening to the music. But anyway, yes, thank you for that, Diane. And that now gets us up to date with everything in the Super Chat window and the PayPal donation window. So thank you for all of those donations. As I always say, you don't have to donate, just watching is great, but the donations are very much appreciated. We are going to be calling things to a close now, so I'm going to be here with that video tomorrow night. Make sure you look out for that. It's going to be released at 8 p.m. That's what I always aim for, 8 p.m. on the video days, which is Sunday, Wednesday and Friday. So I'll see you at that video tomorrow night. If you can make it to another live stream, I will be here at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, Greenwich Mean Time, as always, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So check your clocks or type in Google time in London, England, and then you'll be able to see what time is where I am and compare that to with what the time is where you are. Anyway, we're going to be calling it all to a close. So, as I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live, and have a fantastic rest of your weekend. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!